feel their pain. The truth is out, the case is closed, but our search for justice never slows.
Hey everyone, happy Sunday. How exciting it is for me that I don't have to get up tomorrow morning. Normally, after my lives on Sunday, I have to get ready for work, get my lunch ready. Not today. So I'm happy to be here. Lots of crazy stuff going on in the world. Yesterday I did a short about the man in Germany who decided to drive his car down a road where, there was a crowd of people shopping and, just gathering for the holidays. Sadly, several are dead. Over 200 were injured. I just saw before going live, there's an update with the case of Sammy Toish, who, if you don't remember Sammy, he was a 10-year-old little boy who took his own life after being incessantly bullied by peers, and his parents have filed a wrongful death suit against the school. And some of the details in that suit, I don't remember covering when I talked about Sammy. So it's crazy. But while I was, looking into that, apparently in New York City, a Guatemalan migrant set a woman who was sleeping on the subway on fire and did nothing but watch. Thankfully, this evil person has been arrested and taken off the street. But, I was talking to Pookie before the live, and it's like people are losing their ever-loving minds. Which leads me to the story that is on my thumbnail. A drunk driver led police on a 19-mile chase or pursuit. I'll say pursuit. And he ended up getting off the freeway, went into a shopping mall parking lot, and drove through the front of JCPenney's. 5 people are hurt. The driver is dead because, according to police, when he drove through said mall, he didn't stop. He continued to drive through the store, hurting people. So they had to neutralize the threat, so they did. And then I do have, there's one feel-good story at the end about a capybara, which it's an interesting story for sure. But so many stories to talk about, so little time. So I did most of the theme. The theme today has to do with cars, either car accidents or things of that nature. So before we get started, curious, you're on vacation all week too? Yeah, my brother-in-law is off until Monday as well. He took the whole week off. So Sinner, thanks for being here. And sorry about the time change. I was not ready by 6:15. So like I said, I had so many stories and I was like, that's too many. And I like to talk. So I'm like, I gotta, condense it a little bit. So yes, Sinner's Live was good. I like those feel-good stories. And Sinner, if you happen, there's a story that I wanted to do tonight, but I couldn't fit it in. If you're looking for another feel-good story, let me know. I'll send it to you and you can talk about it on your next live. It's so sweet. It's about a little girl. Kind of like the Secret Santa type thing. Hey, Pooks, glad you could be here. Cat TV is on. Oh, so to occupy the cats while you're here hanging out. Hey, Shaylee, thanks for being here. Yes, and SG, I did. I'm not sure if you saw my comment in Sinner's Life, but great news that that baby has a strong heartbeat, and your daughter-in-law is where hopefully everything goes the way it should go. Hey, Angie, thanks for being here. Marie. AMAC is listening and crafting, and AMAC is going live later tonight. You will be redirected to her live, which I believe is at 8:30 Eastern. So the reason I put my live at 6:30 is because it keeps me on task. It keeps me on task. And to my 2-hour limit. Let's see. All right. Oh, Pookie's talking to other people. Hey, Kursuma. Thanks for stopping in. Oh, and catnip sticks are out for them too. Oh my gosh. Mine don't really like the catnip sticks. I bought them and they kind of just look at them. So I'm like, well, I'm not going to buy you catnip sticks anymore because you don't use them. Oh no, SG. We just got a little setback. Oh, you pushed it back an hour. Okay, well, that's okay. We'll have a little break, but everyone will be still redirected to your live. Too many gifts to make. Yeah, I have all of my shopping done, but I haven't started wrapping. And then, of course, I'm thinking about it, and I'm like, I may not have enough wrapping paper for the gifts that I got. So I'm like, ugh. So I did order more wrapping paper. So I'm such a procrastinator. It's terrible. Absolutely terrible. Hey, MK, thanks for being here. All right. So we are going to get started. And first story we're going to talk about is Sammy Toish, who again was a 10-year-old little boy who took his own life after incessant bullying by peers. And we're going to get into some of the details of the wrongful death suit that has been filed against the school district. And if what is said in this suit is true, as an educator, I am appalled. I'm appalled.
Tonight, the parents of a 10-year-old boy who died by suicide are suing Greenfield Central Schools. They say their son endured relentless bullying for months, and the district did nothing to address it, despite calling their son's school about 20 times. Fourth grader Sammy Toish died back in...
And look at him. He is so freaking cute. Like, so adorable. A fourth grader.
May, and his parents, Sam and Nicole, want to take the school corporation and its board of trustees to trial. The parents' lawyers issued a press release saying, quote, "This suit is about more than holding the Greenfield School Corporation accountable. It's about making sure no child ever experiences what Sammy experienced, and no family, again, experiences the heartbreak that our family can now never escape." So we did reach out to the Greenfield Central Schools superintendent, but he says they have no new comments or statements at this time.
Hey, AP, thanks for being here. So we're going to get over to this article, and it is from the New York Post. So school covered up bullying complaints of boy ridiculed for, quote, looking like Jeffrey Dahmer before his unaliving lawsuit. And this was updated today. Of course. The parents of a 10-year-old boy who unalived himself in May after horrific bullying are suing their son's school. Oh, these ads. claiming staff covered up complaints and punished victims who spoke up about the issue. The mom and dad of Sammy Toish, who killed him. Okay, New York Post, can you at least spell his name correctly in your article? The mom and dad of Sammy Toish, who killed himself at the family's home in Greenfield, Indiana, filed a wrongful death lawsuit last week against the local school system for allegedly ignoring repeated complaints about their son's torment at the hands of other students. Sammy's classmates would call him Dahmer, saying the fourth grader looked like serial killer Jeffrey Dahmer, the suit says. When Sammy complained to his teacher, her only response was that, in her opinion, Sammy did somewhat resemble Jeffrey Dahmer, the lawsuit reads. That's what made me angry. SG says, I just don't understand why these schools aren't stopping this. Suspend the bullies, inconvenience the bullies' parents. I agree. All about inconveniencing the parents. And I can say that I don't tolerate any of that in my classroom at all. And unfortunately, we can't prevent everything. But if this is the case that this teacher said what she said when this happened, that's embarrassing. He's a little boy. Like, it's awful. Oh, no, it wasn't the New York Times, Grandma Sherry. It's the New York Post. But, I mean, come on. At least get the spelling right. AP says, I just don't remember kids being so damn mean back in the day. We had, growing up, there was this girl on my sister and I's bus. She was a lot older. She was in high school. We were like, I feel like I was maybe like 6th grade. So my sister would have been in 4th. She was in high school, this girl, and she was so mean. She would just incessantly pick on us and make comments. And, we kind of just, whatever. Like, clearly she's having a bad day, several bad days. But I don't remember it being like this when I was in school. Like, kids definitely picked on me, made comments because I wasn't the skinniest kid. And I mean, I think it depends on the kid. It depends on the kid, and it depends on, I don't know. I feel like it's always happened, but I feel like we hear more about it because of social media, because we get these stories instantaneously. Yeah. And the other thing with bullying, there are laws. So, we have in New York, it's called DASA, which is Dignity for All Students Act. And that has to do with, harassment, bullying, mistreatment, etc. I don't know if other states have that. And the requirements for a DASA to be filed, there's so many things you have to check off before you can even submit paperwork. It's ridiculous. But yeah, I do agree that things need to change. Pookie says, I asked the superintendent if they had been a bully back in the day when they didn't take us seriously. I mean, yeah. And, I hate when they always say, oh, boys will be boys, girls will be girls. No, not okay. Like, stop condoning this behavior. Oh, that's such a sweet picture. Oh, I hate these newspapers. They have these things that drop down. Like, I want to see the picture. Such a pretty, like a beautiful family. The school even threatened to punish Sammy when he sought help, his father, Sam Toish, told the Post. Someone hit Sammy with an iPad, broke his glasses, cut his eye, but he got kicked off the bus. At that point, he stopped talking to us about it. The main thing he was concerned about was getting in trouble at school, so he didn't fight back. The lawsuit alleges that teachers and staff of Greenfield's Weston Elementary turned a blind eye to months of verbal and physical abuse endured by the child, who was mocked for his glasses and teeth and even urged to take his own life. Sammy told me this a million times. Daddy, they aren't listening to me at school. They are not listening to me. Toish said Sammy lived in a stable home with his 3 sisters. The dad said he and his wife, Nikki, begged the school to protect their son, but despite staff assuring them they would, quote, take care of it, there are no official records of their complaints, nor from other parents who told the couple they also griped to the school about bullying. And then that was from, was this the bus? No, this looks like it says Sammy at one point showed the bruises he received allegedly at the hands of other students. So I'm not sure if that was from the bus or a different incident. Like, look at him. So freaking adorable. The young boy was afraid to fight back because he thought he'd get into trouble, his dad said. Other parents have sent me messages saying their kids were bullied too, and they also complained, but in the 2 years that Sammy was there has never been another report of bullying from anyone. It is truly insane. They finally spelt their name right. Because it's T-E-U. They kept putting T-U-E. Toish said he believes that Sammy's death was the product of a vast culture of unchecked bullying in which teachers and staff are too scared to confront bullies and... Oh, let me rephrase. Scratch that. Toish said he believes that Sammy's death was the product of a vast culture of unchecked bullying in which teachers and staff are too scared to confront bullies and parents are kept in the dark. And that, you know, depending on the school district, I can't speak for all school districts, but I know at least where I am not afraid to confront bullies, kids who treat others inappropriately or disrespectfully. I mean, and the thing is, kids can sense fear, just like animals. So, no. Nope. Oh, I've never seen that picture of him before. It's so cute. We have no transparency as parents. We don't know what's going on with a lot of the stuff in the schools now. We have to change the way this is. Toish believes woke, toothless enforcement standards have made school staff terrified of punishing cruel students and enforcing so-called, quote, zero tolerance bullying policies. I wonder what they mean by woke, toothless enforcement standards. Not sure. Toish has spent the months since his son's death advocating against bullying and sharing his son's story. He and his wife launched the Sammy's Tree Foundation for bullying victims and are consulting for an upcoming film based on Sammy's story. But he said people are punished for even talking about the violence and self-harm. Bullying is the second leading cause of death for children 10 to 14, according to the CDC. So I'm curious, what is the leading cause? I need to look that up. Okay, so actually, okay, so the leading cause of children and teens are unintentional injuries. So, for example, drowning, fire, falls, poisoning. So, like accidental deaths or unintentional injuries. Suicide is the second leading cause of death for children and adolescents aged 10 to 14. Cancer is the third leading cause of death for children and adolescents aged 10 to 14. That's really, really sad. No, not at all curious. Hope that teacher who agreed with that gets in trouble or worse. That's just mean to a 10-year-old. Not even mean. I mean, who would even, I mean, if someone, so for me, if someone said that to a kid in front of me, first of all, I would stop it right away. I would probably ask them, do you even know who Jeffrey Dahmer is? Because most likely they have no idea who that is. They probably heard someone else say it. And the fact that if that teacher did condone that, now the kids are like, oh, well, she agrees with me, so it's not that bad. I don't understand. Marie says, I remember the first day I dropped my daughter off to public school. I pulled over crying, called my godfather, and said, I feel like I'm a horrible mom. He said, she will be the light in any dark place. Oh my gosh, what a great thing to say. Hey, Sunday, how are you? My chat is so messed up. Knock on wood, mine's actually working okay today. Okay. TikTok has banned me. Facebook has banned me for even saying the word suicide. We have to acknowledge the problem, not just set it aside. And it's true. I don't doubt that, because how many people on YouTube won't they say unaliving, or I like to say took their own life, because I don't know, there's a negative connotation with the word suicide, like it's like taboo, and but like Mr. Toysh is saying, like people need to start talking about it, because unfortunately it's affecting a lot of our kids, and 10 to 14, they're still babies. Like and to even have that idea in their head, I can't fathom. I mean, when I was 10, I don't even know what I was doing. I feel like we were probably outside riding our bikes up and down the road. The Toyshes filed their lawsuit Tuesday against the Greenfield Central Community School Corporation and the Greenfield Central Community School Corporation Board of Trustees in Hancock County Circuit Court. If you are struggling with suicidal thoughts or experiencing a mental health crisis and live in New York City, you can call 1-888-NYC-WELL for free and confidential crisis counseling. If you live outside the 5 boroughs, which would be the majority of us, you can dial the 24/7 National Suicide Prevention Hotline at 988 or go to suicidepreventionlifeline.org. Sweet little Sammy. Imagine the guilt those children will someday feel forever. I don't even know if they may not think they did anything wrong. If and there are times when things happen and I will go and report them to administration or to someone, higher than me, because as a teacher, I can't assign discipline. I can't quote punish kids. I can contact parents and I can let them know, like, this is what happened. I'm concerned, or like, that transparency is huge. I don't know what they did in the school, but I can say it seems like it wasn't enough. And to not keep reports of when parents are calling and expressing concerns, that's concerning as well. Like, what are you trying to hide? Maybe, yeah, someday they will, if not now. All right, so that is Sweet Sammy. So we're going to move into the story from the thumbnail, which is a drunk driver, excuse me, led police on a 19-mile pursuit. And after driving off, getting off the highway, he proceeded into a mall parking lot where he just deliberately drove into the mall through the doors to JCPenney. And the driver was killed when he refused to stop his vehicle and proceeded to continue driving through the store. So this one does not have any graphic things. I know there's a lot, circulating social media. But this video, and thank you, Pookie, for sending me this one, because this one is a little
began
less.
there in Killeen with that chaos. And folks, it has been deadly. The suspect is dead. 5 people inside that retail store injured as a result after that suspect apparently plows through the entrance. This is a JCPenney location at the...
Yeah, he just went down the parking lot and drove straight into the store. And I couldn't tell how fast he was going. Because the one video I saw, it was just the tail end where he's entering the building. So it didn't look like he was going too fast. But then again, even if he was going 25 miles an hour, that's still too fast.
This mall. Police say it started when officers tried to pull over a suspected drunk driver near the town of Belton. According to authorities, he led troopers on a 19-mile chase before they say he slammed into that Penny's. This is at the Killeen Mall.
And I mean, they said he was suspected drunk driver because they clear, I'm sure we'll find out now after they do an autopsy and toxicology. But he deliberately, in my opinion, he went down that row so that he could drive through the doors of that store. Or was he that impaired that he didn't realize he was driving into a store? Kind of like Stephen Schwally, who drove into a nail salon. I'll never understand it, but. Oh, really, AMAC? I have family in Killeen, Texas. Yeah.
You can see the doors of that store there thrown in, mangled as a result of that crash. But it did not stop there. That is when law enforcement says they had to open fire.
The trooper and the Killeen police officer continued on foot after this vehicle, which was driving through the store, actively running people over. He traveled several hundred yards, and there's officers from DPS, the Killeen Police Department, and 3 other agencies that engaged in gunfire to eliminate this threat to the communities.
Again, from that gunfire, that driver did not survive. We've learned the injured shoppers range in age from 76 to 6 years of age. We are working to get an update, obviously, on the conditions of those who are hurt, and there may be more. Stay with CBS News Texas Online, as of course on air, as we learn more information.
Oh, I didn't realize that cut off. So I do have an article. This was updated today, actually just about 4 hours ago. So this is CNN. Police identify driver who crashed into Texas Mall before being shot by officers. Police have identified the man they said drove into a Texas mall Saturday after a 19-mile police pursuit, striking 4 people before he was fatally shot by responding law enforcement officers. John Darrell Schultz, 53, of Kempner, Texas, has been identified as the suspect. The chase began when a Texas Highway Patrol trooper tried to stop a pickup truck around 5 p.m. Central Time in the Belton area after authorities got a call about the driver possibly being intoxicated. The suspect exited the highway and entered the Killeen Mall parking lot, where he drove through the glass doors of a JCPenney store's main entrance during the busy holiday shopping season. The suspect, quote, drove through the doors and continued to travel through the JCPenney store, striking multiple people. And he said it was several hundred yards he continued into the store. Law enforcement officers shot and killed Schultz after the chase. The truck traveled several hundred yards through the store as troopers and local police followed on foot and engaged in gunfire to eliminate this threat. In the video, I won't be showing it here, but the video I did see where they show the car going into the mall, you could hear the gunfire, and they opened fire. They needed to neutralize him, and they did. 4 people were injured by the pickup truck as it drove through the mall and were taken, to a hospital, while a 5th person went to the hospital on their own. The victims range in age from 6 to 75 years old. There's people in here shopping for their families, their children, their friends, loved ones, and these kinds of things we don't like to see, obviously, and we pray for their recovery. 2 off-duty officers who were at the mall with their families were among the law enforcement who opened fire to stop the driver. Wow. I had not known that. It's unfortunate that this has happened, and our thoughts and prayers go out to everyone affected by this incident, a Killeen Mall spokesperson told CNN in a statement. Our priority is the safety and well-being of our employees and guests. As the investigation is ongoing, we cannot provide any further comments. The mall reopened at 1 p.m. Sunday and will close at 8 p.m. before returning to normal holiday hours. Witnesses describe chaos. Nathan Carrasco told CNN he was in his car with his friends in the Killeen Mall parking lot when they witnessed a truck drive through the JCPenney door and run over people. Carrasco said 2 police vehicles chased the truck in the parking lot, and just before officers nearly cornered the truck drove through the department store. Carrasco and his friends jumped out of the car to make sure everyone was okay. There were people lying on the floor with glass everywhere, Carrasco said, adding people rushed into the store to help a woman and a young girl who was bleeding. Catherine Dedden told CNN her dash cam partially captured the police chase on a nearby highway, which runs adjacent to the mall, where she was in the mall parking lot. We turned around in the parking lot and the chase was in front of us, Dedden said, adding she did not see the truck crash into the mall, but saw an officer tend to a young girl. I saw a little girl being carried by a police officer. Her head was bleeding. She was shaking. I asked if there was anything I could do to help. The officer was shaken. His full attention was on the child as he bandaged her. They took her into the ambulance. Rose and Will Parker told CNN they were near the coffee shop near the JCPenney when they heard several gunshots and saw people running. I grabbed my wife and we went into the coffee shop. We locked up in a back room, Will Parker said. They were in the coffee shop for about 15 minutes when a security guard escorted them out of the mall. It was a mess. I'm thankful to the gentleman, the security guy, that helped us out. Killeen is about 70 miles north of Austin and is home to the Army's Fort Cavazos, formerly Fort Hood. Craziness. I was the most frequent JCPenney shop. Oh, I was the most frequent JCPenney shopper for your security. I used to be too. And then I remember when they had, I think it was called Falling Prices, where they had like the clearance things. And if you got it at a certain time, you could get it at the lowest price. And then I started shopping at Kohl's, and now when I do shop, I usually do boutique shopping because the clothes are much better made. They're a little more pricey, but they last a lot longer. Excuse me. Okay, so just, hopefully we'll find out more as time, progresses, but I don't understand. I mean, I guess in the one article it said that, one of the witnesses said that police had gotten him cornered. So maybe, just speculating, maybe the driver was like, they've got me, I need to get out of here. So he just drove through the store thinking he was going to get away. Clearly he was under some type of distress, because I don't think anyone who is sane of mind would drive into a mall to hurt people. That's just my opinion. Hey, Karma, how are you? So we are going to change gears. This is a story that Pookie sent me a couple of days ago, and it reminded me of, I had covered a story, gosh, it seems like it was only a month or so ago, but it could have been longer, of a young boy, a teenager, who killed his family and then tried to blame his little brother. But what he didn't realize is that his sister had played dead and was able to escape the house and get to a neighbor, in which she told the police, like, my brother did it. My brother who's still alive. So when I got this, I was like, wait, this sounds like the story I already covered, but completely different family, completely different teenager. And this is out of New Mexico. And as it says in here, he will be held in jail until trial. The defense tried to get the judge to, my God, I lost the word. Grant release, conditional release. And she said, no, he will be remanded because I feel he is a danger to others and himself.
Now, here at home, a local community is starting that long process of grieving as well after a weekend of just unspeakable violence.
And as they grieve, there are still so many questions about what exactly happened over the weekend.
Tamara Lopez joins us from Valencia County now. Tamara, I know you've been there pretty much all day trying to get some more answers. So what have you learned?
Well, Tessa, New Mexico State Police says that they had officers investigating the deaths of 4 people on Saturday in Rio communities. And we learned that they arrested teenager Diego Leiva in connection to the shooting. He's now accused of shooting and killing 4 of his family members. He was in court just a couple of hours ago today for the very first time for these charges. Leiva is charged with 4 open counts of murder. He's only 16, so we will not be showing him. But according to NMSP, around 3:30 on Saturday morning, Leiva called 911 saying he killed his family, and Valencia County Sheriff's deputies responded first. Deputies say Leiva walked out of the house with his hands in the air while extremely intoxicated stated. And when deputies went inside the house, they found a handgun on the kitchen table. Leyva is now accused of killing his brothers, aged 17 and 14, and his parents. They were all found with gunshot wounds. Today in court, a judge ruled he should be kept in jail ahead of a possible trial.
Based upon the allegations and the circumstances surrounding this matter, the court is going to find that the child is a danger to himself and others, and the court is going to order that he be held in detention at this time.
Now, Leyva's defense is claiming that he should be released because he has no history of violence and some other family members were willing to take custody of him, but the state...
But my thing is, regardless, I think that was the same for the other story too that I covered. Let me write myself a note to see, because I want to check to see if there's any updates in that case. Like, he didn't have a criminal history, but he just killed 4 people, his own family members. So I agree with the judge, even though there's other family members that would take him in and, you know, hopefully keep him safe. I don't think that they could completely.
He argued he's a danger to himself and the community, adding that when deputies found Leyva at the crime scene, he was actually hitting himself over the head. Today, we learned more about his mother, though, Adriana Bencomo. She was a volunteer firefighter with the Rio Community's Volunteer Fire Department since 2007. And Fire Chief Andrew Tabbitt says he's followed her entire career here, adding that she just loved her community and just wanted to be there for people on their worst day.
There's more memories than I can even talk about. I've known her entire career. She always would make us laugh, even on a really rough call. She always had a smile on her face. She always had everything. And it was just that much more funny because she truly cared if you were okay.
Now, the one thing everyone asking is why Leyva may have allegedly shot and killed his family. Tonight, we still don't have those answers because it's a continuing investigation. But what we do know and what's very clear is the impact this tragedy has had here on the community. You just heard a little snippet there from one person, but we also learned today that Leyva was a Belen High School student. And we talked to the superintendent from the school district here, and he says that the school district is offering counseling services for all the students at Belen High School, as well as Belen Middle School. And he says when something like this happens, it's just unspeakable. So we are going to be hearing from the Belen superintendent tonight at 6. For now, live in Belen, Tamara Lopez, KOB4.
Yeah, trying to make sense of something.
Okay. So I do have an article from NBC News that we're going to take a look at. Yeah, I agree. In other words, this kid is like a ticking time. I would agree. Like, what would have caused him to, you know, I mean, and he called 911 around 3 a.m. So, you know, it makes me think back to Carly Gregg. You know, they tried to say that, you know, mental illness caused her to do what she did. And just based on the video and, you know, testimony, I didn't think that was true. It's just, I don't understand how people can do this. So it says, New Mexico teenager charged with murders heard a voice that, quote, told him to kill his family, police say. The 16-year-old is accused of killing 4 relatives over the weekend in Belen, about 30 miles outside Albuquerque. A New Mexico teenager accused of murdering 4 relatives told investigators he heard a voice that ordered him to kill his family. The 16-year-old, whom NBC News is not identifying because he is a minor, faces 4 counts of first-degree murder in connection with the killing Saturday in Belen, about 30 miles from Albuquerque. The boy is being held in a juvenile detention center in Albuquerque, but could be charged as an adult later, the 13th Judicial District Attorney's Office said. It was not immediately clear whether he had an attorney. The suspect called 911 around 3:30 a.m. Saturday and told the dispatcher he had killed his family. It described him as extremely intoxicated and said he exited a residence and surrendered when officers arrived. The officers found 4 people dead inside the home and a handgun in the kitchen. The motive had not been yet determined, Ricardo Bracita, a public information officer for the New Mexico State Police, told NBC News on Wednesday. The suspect told agents that a voice told him to kill his family. The suspect made the statement Sunday when he was sober, who added that the gun used in the shootings had been purchased by the teen's father, who was one of the victims. Bracita said authorities were not sure whether the boy had a history of mental illness. State police identified the victims as Adriana Bencomo, 35, Leonardo Leyva, 42, Adrian Leyva, 17, and Alexander Leyva, 14. She absolutely loved being a mom. Bencomo had been a volunteer firefighter and was a doting mother, said those who knew her. News of the murder stunned her current and former colleagues at the City of Rio Community's fire department, where she volunteered. She absolutely loved being a mom, said Ashley Romero Reynolds, a former volunteer who now lives in Ohio. She would bring her boys to the fire department when we had little events there and whatnot, or just to see their mom. Romero Reynolds said Bencomo went by Andy and always wanted to make people laugh, whether it was by cracking jokes or by doing silly dances. If someone is having a bad day, guaranteed she will make it better. Bencomo was a volunteer firefighter for 17 years, responding to priority calls such as house blazes, car wrecks, and medical emergencies. Bencomo Fire Chief Andrew Tibet said. He described Bencomo as a vital part of the fire crew who always put others first. She was a genuine person who wanted to help her community. She wanted to be there for people. Tibet said, adding that Bencomo was bilingual and helped the department with any language barriers. Tibet said he had been friends with Bencomo for 15 years and last spoke with her the day before she died. We were both looking forward to the holidays. I'll miss her smile and genuine appreciation for everyone who was here. Leonardo Beltran, the father of victim Leonardo Leyva, said he was struggling to come to terms with the loss of his family members. The dead are dead, and I cannot resurrect them, he said in Spanish when he was reached by phone Tuesday. It's incredibly difficult. The suspect was a student at Belen High School, and the youngest victim, Alexander, attended Belen Middle School, said Lawrence Sanchez, superintendent of Belen Consolidated Schools. Adrian, 17, attended a school outside the district, he said. The school system has brought in resources to help students and staff members cope with the tragedy. We're playing each day by ear, Sanchez said, adding that the first day back at school after the killings was a tough day. In a statement this week, Sanchez said the school district is committed to working closely with law enforcement and school officials to take steps to do our part in preventing anything like this from happening again. It is our collective responsibility to ensure our children and families feel safe, supported, and valued. So Marie says the saddest part is there's usually warning signs that go ignored. Could be. SG says they always say mental illness to try to get away with these crimes. I agree. I believe that some genuinely, do have mental illness. Yet it seems like, it's like Wade Wilson. He tried to claim that, he didn't claim insanity, but after he was convicted, he tried to argue mental disease or defect. And no. So that'll be interesting to see if he is charged as an adult. I don't know. Let's see if I look up. Let me see. New Mexico. Well, I'm assuming you can be charged as an adult, but okay, so it says in New Mexico, a person must be at least 18 years old to be charged as an adult. However, in New Mexico, a juvenile can be tried as an adult in the case of first-degree murder if they are between the ages of 15 and 18. This is known as a serious youthful offender proceeding. And honestly, I think that he should be charged as an adult because he killed 4 people who were his family members. And based on, there is an article that I will share in chat. I'm not going to read it or show the video because it has the 911 call, and it also has body cam footage, which I'm surprised they've released. If you'd like to check out the 911 call, feel free to do so. I am not going to play that on here just because I did skim through the video a little bit, and it is graphic in nature. And just based on what I've seen, it'll be interesting to see how this plays out. It'll be interesting. Okay, so changing gears again. This story, believe it or not, the driver of this vehicle was alive and responsive. She was talking to first responders. She had been airlifted to the hospital. But when I saw this, I was like, holy shit. The second clip we have, it will show a distant video of how this happened, but this woman ended up in a trench with her car on its nose, like just straight up and down. Thankfully, someone did find her after she had been there for hours. But it's just, bizarre.
We begin with breaking news this afternoon. A shocking discovery in a trench in Northwest Harris County. A car found completely vertical, standing on its front end inside that trench.
I feel like so many factors had to come into play, because what would the chances of that car, after it did what it did, end up straight up and down against the side of this trench? It just boggles my mind.
Even more surprising, the driver inside the vehicle was alive. Good afternoon. I'm Sherman Min Chow. This happened off of Highway 290 near Skinner. That is where Victor Jacobo is live now. So, Victor, what the heck happened?
Yeah, Sherman, where you can see they just right now took the vehicle away by the tow truck. We are at a construction site here in Northwest Harris County. I'm going to show you right now how this scene looks like, you're going to see the hole right here. Officials say it's about a 40-foot trench that goes down. That is where that vehicle was pulled out of just minutes ago. Officials give me a synopsis of what they believe happened just minutes ago before we came on the air. They say during the nighttime, a female approximately 33 years of age was going eastbound on Hempstead, approached the curb, drove off the road trying to go by the curb, and then went airborne when she hit a pile of dirt on this construction site. It then went down that 40-foot hole. They're not sure what time that happened, but you can see that hole. And
I mean, the fact that she was awake and responding after, I mean, it doesn't seem like anyone should have survived that.
Were here when they were pulling out that vehicle straight up with the heavy wrecker. Cy-Fair Fire Department also on scene when they had also shared some images when the crews discovered that vehicle face down in the ditch, as well as some images of the woman being carried off in a stretcher by firefighters. Again, this is still under investigation. Officials saying it happened sometime between midnight, and they're still learning about more of the conditions in which that vehicle was found inside of that hole. But again, she was life flighted via helicopter to a nearby hospital.
Oh, let me just back up a little bit. It's just like the fact that it just landed, whoop, and then it just stayed. Yeah, Pookie. I mean, it was a construction site, so, she would have been located, but, it had been hours before she was found. Oops.
To a nearby hospital as a precaution. We are told by officials that she was in stable condition, alert, and speaking with officials as she was boarding the helicopter. So still some more information we are gathering, but that is what we know at this time. Sherman, I'll send it back to you in studio.
What a dramatic scene. All right, Victor, thank you.
Yeah, I mean, super dramatic. So the next clip I have is they do have video, nothing graphic. It just shows not only how fast this happened, but how this woman ended up in this trench. And just wild. And so do and so do miracles. Okay, so put it as soon as do miracles. It's okay. It's okay, Marie.
Right now at the top of the 4 o'clock hour, a woman is recovering after being rescued from a 40-foot ditch. Officials say she was found inside her car that was face down.
We're learning she was trapped down there for hours before she was rescued. And now all new at 4, video of that crash you will only see here on KHOU 11. Victor Jacobo was the first reporter on that scene. He's been covering this all day. Victor.
Yeah, I want to give you a sense of where we're at so you can understand how this all occurred. Right behind me here is Hempstead Road. This is where the driver was coming towards this area near 290. They were approaching this construction site. I'm told that they are doing utility work here. Since then, they have covered up that hole where that driver went over a mound of dirt and into that 40-foot.
So let me back up, because based on
trench near 290, they were.
So based on this, it's almost, now that I didn't see this part when I watched this video earlier, but to me, it appears that she may not have realized that the road turned. Like, it's almost like she came straight across, hit that mound of dirt, and then ended up going airborne and then landing in the trench.
This area near 290. They were approaching this construction site. I'm told that they are doing utility work here. Since then, They have covered up that hole where that driver went over a mound of dirt and into that 40-foot trench. That now covered the moment of this incident, caught on camera. That video from a nearby business, it shows the moment where you see a car come in frame and it does not make the turn on the curve coming down Hempstead, instead going off-road, hitting the pile of dirt on the work site.
Right. So yeah. And I mean, I don't know how fast she was going. It appears she was going, I mean, she seemed like she was going at a pretty good clip.
Turn on the curve coming down Hempstead, instead going off-road, hitting the pile of dirt on the work site, going airborne, and disappears down into what officials say is a 40-foot hole. This happened around 1:30 this morning. We were able to verify that with the surveillance video, which has a timestamp that we confirmed is 1 hour ahead. Officials tell us it was a 33-year-old woman who was the only person in the car. The Harris County Sheriff's Office told me the 911 call for help came from the woman around 9 this morning.
Oh my goodness.
It was after that crews arrived to rescue her out of the vehicle. She was
Wow. So I hadn't realized she's the one who called 911 and that's how they found her. So it happened around 1 a.m. and she called about 8 hours later. So, I mean, I would assume maybe she was unconscious, and I mean, thank goodness.
life flighted to a nearby hospital. We were here as the crews had to pull the car out of the hole. We spoke with a relative of the woman who was involved in the crash. They did not want to appear on camera, but they told us they are thankful that this did not end in tragedy.
God.
I was surprised she was alive. The way that car was messed up and stuff, I was very surprised. But I'm so grateful.
Now, factors like speed and other causes are still under investigation. I spoke via text with a relative of the woman just a short while ago. They say that she is doing okay. She's in stable condition, a few bruises and no broken bones.
Wow.
So she is recovering well. Now,
wow. Hold on. I need to hear that again.
A few bruises and no broken.
A few bruises and no broken bones. Somebody was looking out for this lady.
Bones. So she is recovering well. Now, ahead at 5, there is more to this story. The nearby business I spoke with, workers there say that this curve here near 290 on Hempstead Road has a bit of a history when it comes to dangerous driving. We're going to have more on that coming up at 5 o'clock. Now reporting live in Northwest Harris County, Victor Jacobo, KHOU 11 News.
Thanks, Victor. We'll see you at 5.
Craziness. Good point, SG. Maybe she'll tell her story to her grandkids. They won't believe her. She needs that clip. I mean, and it's interesting how now they've closed the trench up now that, you know, a car ended up inside there. But it makes you wonder, maybe if that trench had been covered up, maybe she wouldn't have made it. I just feel like all of these things are into play, and for some reason she ended up the way she did. Wild. All right. She better sub up here then. Oh, or the news. All right. So the next story also has to do with a car. Lots of car themes. This story is interesting. It actually happened back on December 11th. This little girl, well, teenager, I'm not going to say little girl. This girl was walking to school, and the black SUV you see on the right here hit her and then sped off. So it was a hit and run. And so I have 2 clips. The first clip is from when it happened. The second clip is when police were able to identify the driver. And I'm going to hold my opinions till the end of the second clip, but I don't think this woman is being fully transparent. So I will give a disclaimer. Viewer discretion advised. Oh, I never put my banner up. Hold on, I'm going to do that right now. I totally didn't notice. I didn't put my banner up. Thankfully, this young girl, she was not injured. She got up and walked to school and then told the security officer at school what had happened. So, that's why I'm showing this. She was not injured. But this lady has a lot of nerve. And thank goodness for this camera.
New at 4:30, parents and families in Plano are concerned after a shocking video posted onto social media shows the moment a car hit a young girl who was crossing the street. The driver drove off without checking to see if she was okay. Our Olivia Leach has more on the search for the driver and how the girl is doing today.
It happened on Tuesday morning around 8 a.m. This little girl was just crossing the street on her way to school when this driver hit her. The driver stops for a moment, but then speeds off.
It was just horrific. She was screaming.
Sherry Barker lives on this block and has 2 grandchildren who often walk through this neighborhood on their way to and from school.
It's really just a horrible feeling for what happened. Not only did she back up to pull off, but she sped off.
The neighbor who caught the hit and run on camera said she heard the girl screaming, but said she managed to walk away. They also spoke with the girl's brother, who declined to speak on camera, but said his sister has some scrapes and bruises, but is mostly just shaken up. He says she did not want to go to the hospital.
And that car, I mean, to stop. So clearly she knew she hit someone because she stopped. And then to deliberately put your car in reverse and then put your car in drive and speed off, to me seems deliberate. Yeah, I agree. Marie said, where'd that go? Oh, wrong one. I asked my friend if she heard of a story you shared. She told me if I paid attention to Facebook, I would know. I told her, nah, I have Emmy. Yeah, I don't do Facebook very much myself. Hey, Pro Girl. Thanks for being here.
His family has filed a police report, and he hopes the driver will turn themselves in.
I think they should turn themselves in. I mean, right now, I can't imagine what they're feeling with all of that going on. If they're listening to media, they know that she's okay.
Neighbors hope this incident serves as a reminder to drivers to go slow and always watch for pedestrians and children during school hours.
People just need to watch what they're doing when they're in the car. They really, really need to figure out that what you think you're reaching for or a message is going to wait until you get to where you can stop and take care of it.
Police say they haven't identified the driver yet, but they're continuing to investigate. The girl's family said they reported the incident to the girl's school. If you have any information about this hit and run, you can contact the Plano Police Department's non-emergency line at 972-424-5678. In Plano, Olivia Leach, CBS News, Texas.
Okay, so that was on December 11th. So we're going to fast forward to December 20th. So I had seen this next clip initially. I didn't realize that this had taken place almost 2 weeks ago. So this is the update to the story. They did identify the woman.
Plano police say they have identified the driver who struck a 12-year-old girl with her car and then just took off. Hello, everybody. I'm Heather Hayes.
And I'm Steve Eager. It's 9 o'clock. Video captured the entire incident last week as the girl was walking to school. She was, no matter what you see on the screen, she was not seriously hurt. The driver has yet to be charged, but police say she has admitted to what she did. Fox 4's David Santandri spoke with police today. David.
Yeah, the name of that woman will not be released until a judge signs an arrest warrant and she is formally charged. Now, police say this woman who hit the 12-year-old girl drove off and never turned herself in, but police were able to track her down. Video shows a 12-year-old girl being hit by an SUV while walking to school in Plano on December 12th. The driver stops for a couple seconds before reversing and driving off in a different direction. Plano Police Department released this video in hopes of identifying the driver.
Upon that, we had a lot of neighbors calling us, a lot of tips.
Now, the department says it has identified a woman as the suspect and is awaiting a judge to likely sign an arrest warrant.
The child had walked to school even though they had been just hit by the car.
Family members of the girl told Fox 4 she only had minor injuries. Still, the driver's failure to stop and render aid will likely lead to a felony charge. Officer Chapman says the woman has been interviewed by detectives and admitted to being the driver.
She didn't know what to do. She panicked, and we understand that, but you cannot leave the scene.
Plano.
So she said the reason she took off is because she panicked. I can understand being panicked, but like that woman had said in the first clip, if you were watching media, you would know that the girl is okay. Turn yourself in. Almost 2 weeks went by. She didn't turn herself in. Police found her. So I don't think she's being fully transparent as to why she panicked. That's just my opinion.
PD says she expressed deep regret for not remaining at the scene to ensure the child's safety.
Just feeling sorry that she did that. Absolutely, deeply sorry. She didn't mean to do that. She realized
I don't think anyone means to hit someone else with their car.
Kept doing wrong things by leaving.
It's unclear, however, why she did not stop. It's also unclear if she saw any of the news reports highlighting the search for her. It's unclear why she never turned herself in. Instead, police say she only admitted to being the driver after they tracked her down.
Right.
Fox 4 spoke with some neighbors who say they understand accidents happen. However,
so I don't think if you're panicked, I don't know. I can understand being panicked. But, I don't know. I can't speak for this woman, but I think something else was going on. I think she panicked because she was possibly doing something else that she shouldn't have been. Or, maybe she just thought oh my God, I'm going to be in trouble or whatever. But me, if that happened, I would be like, oh my God, I would be freaking out, hoping that the person is okay.
Could they relate to her leaving? No.
Plano Police Department says it is working closely with the Collin County District Attorney's Office as this investigation moves forward. We will keep you updated when we learn the name of that suspect. But for now, Heather, Steve, back to y'all.
Okay, and I did just look up, I did a quick search, and there have been no updates since, which makes sense because it's the weekend, but I will definitely keep an eye out to see if anything else happens. Craziness. All right, so we have two more stories. The next one, in the description of this video, you will see a GoFundMe link. This is for this. Oh, wait, I'm showing I have three more. I think the one I forgot to delete. Hold on a second. Let me just double check. Let me just stop sharing for a second. Yep, that is why. Okay, so I'm going to move that to the bottom. Okay, so I forgot to delete the one story that I was going to not show. All right, there we go. Yeah, possibly under the influence, or maybe she didn't have, I don't know, maybe she didn't have her license with her. She didn't have her car registration. Who knows? Could be anything. But lots of questions as seen by that reporter's statements. Thanks, Pearl Girls. I appreciate that. Thank you for becoming a member. Welcome to the Stoners. Okay, so this next one I saw earlier today, and this is a tearjerker, I will say. This family had all of their belongings in a trailer, and they were moving across, to a different state. On their journey to their new home, they were hit by another vehicle, which this is what remains of their livelihood. This is the trailer that they had been pulling with all of their belongings. Dad is learning to walk again, or has learned to walk again. The rest of his family is still in the hospital, and unfortunately their dog did not make it. So the GoFundMe for this family is in the description of this video. We'll look at that after this clip, but just know that this is a very sad story. Very sad story.
An entire family of 5 expected to be in the hospital through next week after getting injured in Utah County. They say they lost nearly everything while moving from California to Idaho. News specialist Mike Anderson joins us live right now. And Mike, the family says they're grateful that crash happened in the state of Utah.
Yeah, funny enough, Mike, they say it couldn't have happened in a better place. It is tough. They have a long recovery ahead, and they will likely spend Christmas in the hospital, but they say they are blessed.
Along I-15 in Mona, the Booma family lost a lot.
I get a little fogged up and emotional from everything, even thinking about it.
It was the last of their move, items from a storage unit, irreplaceable keepsakes.
We had stuff that we created, things that were my daughters, that my wife had sewn.
Alan Booma says his wife Tiffany and their 3 kids are all still recovering in Utah Valley Hospital.
It's been tough. Everybody's hurting.
He's having to work on walking, and the family dog, Valentine, did not survive.
Not just a pet, but an inside dog, and went with us everywhere. She was another family member.
Alan says it happened as another vehicle collided with the side of their toy hauler, causing them to roll about 3 times. He believes this toolbox attached in the back saved them.
This allowed the...
I was going to say, looking at that car... Ooh, I didn't go far enough. Looking at that car and what had happened, I mean, their trailer is in pieces. Pieces. And... that car, the fact that they are alive is nothing short of a miracle.
Times. He believes this toolbox attached in the back saved them.
This allowed the truck cab not to crush down flat and potentially kill us.
But immediately, he says, strangers started helping. The wrecker from the scene, getting his family to help with cleanup, even checking on them at the hospital, and local members of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, bringing clothes, toiletries, and more.
If you're going to be in an accident, hopefully, I know it should be in Utah.
And an outpouring from people online, many followers of Alan's art, his wife Tiffany's work as a seamstress.
Just letting everybody know how beautiful they are and how beautiful their support is.
What may seem like the worst of luck, showing how much people really care.
I'm so grateful.
Of those people online in the online community donating and sharing a GoFundMe page created by friends. We'll have a link to that at ksltv.com. Back to you.
Good to see all that support. Mike, thank you.
Yeah, I mean, look, their trailer, I mean, just, I don't even... that whoever hit them must have hit them really, really hard. So this is the GoFundMe. And like I said, the link is in the description of the vehicle, or the vehicle. Oh my gosh, I'm looking at the vehicle. In the description of the live. So car accident leaves Alan and Tiffany and their 3 kids in need. There is a $28,000 goal. They're at about $13,000. And this is their trailer. This is what remains of, their belongings. So it says, I'm writing this on behalf of our dear friends, Alan and Tiffany, who have experienced a life-altering tragedy early Saturday morning. While moving their family of 3 kids to start a new chapter, a driver swerved into them, causing their vehicle to jackknife and roll 3 times. The toy hauler they were pulling, which held everything they owned, exploded across the highway. Tragically, their beloved dog Valentine did not survive the crash. While the family is alive, a blessing Tiffany attributes to her prayers, the physical and emotional trauma is significant. This wasn't just a car accident. It was the loss of a lifetime of memories. Almost everything they owned, collected over 15 years, was destroyed. Tools, the kids' toys, clothing, and irreplaceable sentimental items like photos and handmade keepsakes. Their truck and trailer are completely gone, leaving them without transportation or a place to call home. How you can help. Allen and Tiffany are the kind of people who would give you the shirt off their back. Back in 2020, when Mariah and I were living in a trailer with very little, they went out of their way to help us. Now it's our turn to show up for them. They do have a list of what the funds will go for, additional ways to help. And then they have a link to Allen's Instagram and then Tiffany's Instagram. Here is Tiffany. Oh my gosh, she's got, I can't tell what part of the body that is, but they have screws somewhere. There's sweet Valentine, poor baby. Oh my God. And they have pictures of the kids. Okay. So as I said, looks like her left arm. That's what I was thinking, but then she has, let me just go back up there. She had, it almost looks like possibly a chest plate. So I'm not sure. Yeah. But I thought I would share that story because it was, you know, I felt so badly for them, and, you know, they were on their way to start a new life and in Idaho, and, you know, somebody changed their plans. So I agree, Marie. Everything can be gone in the blink of an eye. So count your blessings. Yeah. And even with people, my cousin lost her mother-in-law last week. Her mother-in-law had felt like she was saying things that didn't make sense. So, you know, they brought her to the hospital. The hospital said, "Oh, you're just dehydrated." So they sent her home. So she started talking weird again. She went back to the hospital. They did more tests and they found she had a brain tumor. 2 weeks later, she was gone. Not even 2 weeks later. I think it was like 12 days. So, you know, in an instant. And that's why, you know, like, when you think about all the things happening, especially on these streets of YouTube, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. In the grand scheme of things, like the people who are important to us, the people who we care about, that's what matters. Because in an instant, it can be gone. It can be gone. Oh, thanks, Sinner. Oops. So Sinner gifted 1 membership. So Tessa was the lucky recipient. Welcome to the Stoners. Oh, really, Marie? Something similar happened in your family last week? Yeah. And I had stopped at my parents yesterday, and I said to my mom, I'm like, "Hey, have you heard anything about so-and-so?" And my mom was like, "Oh, I was going to wait to tell you guys." Like, come on, Mom. So she ended up telling me, I don't know if she told my sister, so I haven't said anything to my sister, but I think she wanted to wait until after the holidays, but yeah, so she told me because I asked, because of course I'm going to ask because, I'm concerned. I want to know how is so-and-so. My first question is always, how's grandpa? Then, it's how's so-and-so, how are, have you talked to this person? Have you talked to that person? Yeah, bad. And just before the holidays. All right, so changing gears completely, like this is a complete 180. Apparently this stuffed capybara, is it capybara? I can't ever pronounce it. This stuffed animal apparently is the hot gift this holiday season. I didn't know until I saw this news clip, and I actually wouldn't have probably watched it, but capybaras are so cute. So I saw this and I was like, and he actually did make it to my thumbnail. I put him in the bottom corner. So we're going to take a look at this and then we'll do some last thoughts. But apparently this is the toy to have this holiday season. Oh, a capybara? Let me look them up quick. So capybaras they're interesting. They're a rodent. I think they're related to like I say guinea pig. Sorry about that. Let me find, here we go. Capybara facts. Well, oh my gosh, look how cute they are. We'll go to National Geographic. So this is a capybara. They're so cute. They can get really big. All right, so we're going to read about capybaras and then we'll get to that clip. So they are mammals. They're herbivores. They can live up to 7 years. That's not very long. Average lifespan in the wild, 7 years. They are 4.6 feet long. So we'll say 4.5 feet. Up to 2 feet high at their shoulders. And they weigh between 77 to 143 pounds. Okay. Oh, so this is like extinct. Oh, this is kind of neat. They have like the red list status. So they are least concern. Their population is stable. Okay. So it says, you thought the beaver was a rodent of unusual size? The capybara is twice that big, the biggest rodent on Earth. These impressive semi-aquatic mammals are found throughout much of northern and central South America, though a small invasive population has been seen in Florida. They're closely related to guinea pigs and rock cavies. I've never heard of rock cavies. Oh, okay. Oh my gosh, it's almost like, it looks like a kangaroo, but like really little. Okay, that's a whole different... What is this again? A cavy. They're from South America. Huh. Oh my gosh, they weigh, so I know. So most cavies are moderately large, weighing 200 to 1,500 grams, from 0.4 to 3.3 pounds. That's not large. Well, I guess for a rodent it is. With a body 15 to 40 centimeters, 6 to 16 inches long. Their dense, coarse fur ranges from gray to brown, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so that's a cavy. I didn't know. I have never heard of a cavy before. Cute until you wake up to one. We have this It's not a zoo. It's like a small. It's like a, I don't even know, like a little animal land type thing. Like they have giraffes and coyotes and goats and things like that. Kind of like a, yeah, I guess it's like a little zoo. But they have a capybara there, and it's always in the water. It's so cute. But I agree, Sinner. They're maybe we'll watch a video of one swimming. Yeah, I'll get one of those after we read about them. All right, so let's go back to capybaras. Okay, so they're closely related to guinea pig and rock cavies, and more distantly related to chinchillas and agouti. Like beavers, capybaras are strong swimmers. Their pig-shaped bodies are adapted for life in bodies of water found in forests, seasonally flooded savannas, and wetlands. Their toes are partially webbed for paddling around, and their reddish to dark brown fur is long and brittle, perfect for drying out quickly on land. Small eyes, noses, and hairless ears are located high on their heads so that their faces remain exposed and alert when most of their body is submerged. Being alert is important when you're often dinner for jaguars, pumas, and in the water, caimans. Caiman, are those snakes? Caimans? Capybara young have even more to worry about. They are a favorite snack food of snakes like the boa constrictor, crab-eating foxes, small cats, and birds of prey like the caracara and black vulture. Along with the seasons, the presence of predators affects what time of day capybaras are active, which may be day or night, and it is often at dawn and dusk. Like other rodents, capybara's teeth grow continuously, and they wear them down by grazing on aquatic plants, grasses, and other plentiful plants. Oh, gross. They also eat their own poop. Because apparently in the morning, that's when it's the most protein rich from the high number of microbes digested the previous day. Because the grasses they eat are so hard to digest, by eating their own waste, they get twice the digestion. I never knew that about capybaras. Oh, and then I'll just read this part. Capybaras don't mind being alone, but they also live in groups of up to 40. Their breeding season varies throughout the year depending on what habitat they live in and the availability of mates. Females usually have one litter of 4 to 5 young per year. Though considered to have a stable population overall, in some areas, capybaras are severely threatened by people who hunt them for their skin, and some local populations have been wiped out. Of course, humans. Oh, thanks, Sinner. Oh my God, they're so freaking cute. Let me open this up quick. Pause. No, pause. Okay, so let's take a look at this.
They're some of the biggest little critters on Earth.
Rodents of unusual size? I don't think they exist.
And far less scary than the ones made famous in The Princess Bride. We're talking capybaras, hailing from South America, the largest rodent in the world, and can grow to more than 4 feet long. And they're seemingly at the top of everyone's Christmas list this year, fueled by social media hype from zoo trips around the world.
Come with me to the Capybara Onsen in Japan.
To a viral song. Even embraced by Disney in the hit kids movie Encanto, in just a passing role. Now, everyone wants their own plush version, that is.
Now we have a huge trend with capybaras.
At Jellycat, they go for more than $40 and have glowing 5-star reviews.
$40? They are cute.
The Bear's Christmas-themed capybara viewed 1,800 times in the last day. Not to mention the $98 giant one. But Pusheen all sold out for the holidays. Note the one per customer disclaimer. The viral rodent even making an appearance on our NBC News colleague's Christmas sweater today. The capybara taking the mantle from the...
It took the mantle from the axolotl. My niece has an axolotl. Her axolotl is not pink like this one, though. But her axolotl is very cute. Very cute.
Axolotl, the endangered amphibian that was last year's viral critter. Like the sloth, the llama, or the narwhal before them.
There's always been your core stuffed animals, unicorns, turtles, bears, that type of thing. But in the last, I would say, 5 to 8 years, social media trends are the ones that have burst things onto the scene.
The trends sometimes making it hard for the toy industry to keep up. But with stuffies, they have to. With consumer research firm Circana saying global sales skyrocketing from $1.3 billion in the first half of 2021 to $2.2 billion in the same frame of this.
It's doubled. Holy
year,
crap.
Not even counting the holidays yet. So what's driving it? In part, adults.
Hi, my name is Teddy Ruxpin.
Some fueled by nostalgia.
What's that? It's my Furby.
Now at McDonald's, your kids can get teeny beanie babies and a Happy
Oh
Meal.
my gosh, I remember Furbies. My aunt, my cousins were a lot younger than me, but my aunt would go, at Christmas time when the Furbies were the big thing. Like she got in line at like 2 a.m. trying to get one of these Furbies. And it's like, I don't even think they might be worth something, but gosh, I remember I was like, I would never stand in line that long for a toy. Never.
Meal.
Others by a need for comfort.
Especially during 2020, 2021, when we were all feeling a little more isolated, we were all looking for that way to connect and to have those social, emotionally intelligent toys. So that's been really trendy lately. I think that plush is a big part of that.
Sales of toys to adults are up. Circana saying toy purchases for people 18 and older are up 8% in the U.S. over the last year.
Wow.
And now creeping up on 20% of all toy sales. And though numbers are hard to find on stuffed animals.
What is that? What? Oh, that must be in Asia. I can't. That character is interesting.
Squishmallow telling Time magazine that almost
I love
2/3 of buyers who
Squishmallows.
purchase the toys for themselves are between the ages of 18 and 24.
Well, I think that the benefits of play, they don't stop when you're a kid.
Now, many finding comfort in the 100-pound relative of the rat.
Oh,
the really, really big rat. Yeah, can we just focus in on the fashion choice of Brian Shaw?
Shout out to Leon and Standards for hooking this
Could
up.
you turn around? Could you
This
do a
is the
little
plug.
twirl?
Yeah, I'll just do kind
stand
of
up
quick. Like,
and-
here's the
there we
back.
go.
Happy holidays to everyone out there.
Oh
We're
my
keeping
God.
it on theme.
That
Again,
is
shout out
a
Leon.
really nice sweater, Brian.
Thank you very much.
I can't wait to get one myself.
I'll hook you up.
How do they feed this demand?
Well, look, here's the thing. I think like with every animal appearing to kind of take over the spotlight every year, they're kind of doing these limited drops. They're having to choose, all right, this is the year that we're going to have, in this case, the capybara, right? But the thing is, you do risk not having enough inventory if the demand is really high. But I think companies are kind of okay with not having all that demand.
that is a really cute stuffed animal. That is a really cute one. Oh, some Furbies resale to collectors for a few $1,000. Okay.
Or not having enough supply, because if they sell out, it just kind of drives the hype up even further. But again, it's rather that than make like 1 million of these and then turns out not as many people want them, and then you're stuck with all these capybaras that aren't as popular.
I mean, for me, I can just compare it to the Cabbage Patch craze that I wanted ever so badly, especially for that Christmas, probably when I was around 7 years old or something, and they had run out.
Yeah, I'm
and
sure
then
you
I
could
never
find
got the Cabbage Patch
I'm
Kid.
sure we could find an ugly sweater that is Cabbage Patch.
Oh, for sure. I'm sure we could find that. Get off that set. Get off the set with that sweater, will you?
Well, yep, we'll do. Yep.
I'm transfixed by it. Brian Chung.
All right. So let's go. Let me share this instead. Oh my goodness. And look, I'm going to be on a rabbit hole tonight. Here's a story. So we're going to watch this video, but this says hundreds of capybaras overrun neighborhood in Argentina. That's interesting. Oh my gosh, Marie. I was pregnant as I stood in line outside Walmart for a Game Boy. Never again. Black Friday shoppers at like 3 a.m. are mean. Oh, my sister is the one she wanted the Game Boy. So my sister got the Game Boy, but then I would always play it because I loved Paperboy. I loved the game Paperboy. Loved it. Sorry, but they remind me of Rats in Chicago. Yeah. Oh, you raise money once for llamas for poor families overseas. That's nice. That's really nice. All right, let's take a look at this video. And actually, crazy creatures. Let me just get this.
Is it a hog? Is it a beaver? Or is it a rodent of unusual size? Nope, nope, and yes. Well, sort of. It's a capybara, the biggest rodent on Earth.
Oh my God.
Closely related to guinea pigs, these semi-aquatic creatures can weigh as much as a human at up to 90 kilograms. That's a big guinea pig. And though they're large and in charge...
Oh, look how sweet. So cute.
They're harmless. They've even been dubbed nature's chairs, as they are so mellow, they let other animals sit on them. Well, isn't that neighborly? So why are these lovable giants so relaxed? Do they have any natural predators? And would they make good pets or patio furniture? Capybaras.
Aw, look at that. They're so cute. The little babies
Are native to South America, where they chill out along the banks of the Amazon River. And if you're in Florida, you may have spotted a small but invasive population roaming about. These critters are social, just like we are. They tend to live in groups or herds of 10 to 40 capybaras. A herd usually has a dominant male, subordinate males, several females, and their offspring. The subordinate males act as lookouts and bark when a predator is near. Maybe that's why they're so laid back. These giant rodents know they're safe until they hear a warning bark. Capybaras.
That is, oh my gosh, look at that little monkey with it.
Have befriended animals such as birds and monkeys. But they avoid predators like jaguars, caimans, and anacondas.
Oh, caimans are like oh no, snaky, no. Okay, so like caimans are like alligators, I guess.
And anacondas. Wise choice. And young capybaras can be eaten by ocelots and harpy eagles. You'd think that an animal 3 times bigger than a beaver would be a meat eater, but these rodents are completely vegetarian. They eat aquatic plants, grasses, and other plants. They've even been known to eat their own dung. Now that's recycling and disgusting. But their dung contains protein from the microbes that digest the food in their intestines. So when capybaras eat their poop, they get the nutrients they didn't absorb the first time around. It may be gross, but you have to admit, it's highly efficient. Especially since they eat so much. Each adult eats 2.7 to 3.6 kilograms of plants per day.
Wow, that's a lot of
people who
plants.
have kept capybaras as pets say that the rodents will mow their lawns for food. Now, you may be toying with the idea of keeping one of these unusually large, really chill rodents as a pet, but this is not ideal for the...
They seem like just so comical. Like they're like very laid back, but they're also like comical.
Capybara. Since they're semi-aquatic, they need a lot of space and water. And because they roll as a posse...
Okay, so now those, I mean, they look pretty big. I mean...
They also need friends. Lots of them. Even a pal isn't going to give a capybara the social life it desires.
Aww.
And nothing sounds sadder than an unhappy capybara. So if you're thinking of heading to the Amazon or Florida to get one as a pet, don't bother. Just get a guinea pig and call it a day.
Just get a guinea pig and call it a day. There we go. Just get a guinea pig and call it a day. That was so cute. Hey, Cuddle, how are you? Something you'd see in a beer commercial. Yes, actually, I would agree with that. So, capybaras. Capybaras. Who knew that they were the stuffed animal of the season? Let's see. Let me go to chat quick. The Sinner says, I was a Raggedy Ann and Andy kid. I was E.T., Strawberry Shortcake, Care Bears, and then Cabbage Patch had like the animals, like the Cabbage Patch Kids had like Pound Puppies. I don't think they were Cabbage Patch related, but Pound Puppies. But mostly it was Strawberry Shortcake, E.T., and Care Bears. Marie says, I'm going to age myself, but did anyone have a follow-along book for the show Picture Pages? I've never heard of that. Nope. Yeah, curious. Capybaras. I have a cousin who loves capybaras. Like, he's obsessed with them. And I only knew of them from him. And then we have that little like animal place by us that they have a couple of capybaras in there, like this little pond area. Yeah, they do have really big teeth. Like the beaver teeth, like the buck teeth. All right, everyone. Well, it was fun. We got through all the stories I had planned on getting through. I don't know if I'm going to go live tomorrow. Tomorrow's my usual day to go live, but I might, because there is a story that I want to cover. Pookie had actually shared it with me last week of this family was in a deadly car accident. And fast forward, there is a missing toddler. Well, 1-year-old. I believe it's 1-year-old. So there is an Amber Alert out for this child. And they have arrested someone for failure to report the child missing. It's a very interesting case. So I think I might, if I do go live tomorrow, that's what I'm going to talk about, is just that story, because there's a lot of different parts to it. I remember my buddy, but I don't remember Kid's sister. I do remember my buddy. And then Teddy Ruxpin, who they had on, that clip we watched. I never had Teddy Ruxpin. I think my sister did. Aw, thanks, Angie. Oh, yeah, Pookie, you were saying that. Harmony Montgomery. Yeah, I'm going to look more into it. Because when is Christmas is on Wednesday, right? So yeah, if I do go live, it'll be tomorrow, because Tuesday I go to my sister's. Wednesday I go to my sister's. So yeah, I'm going to plan on going live tomorrow, probably a little bit earlier than 7, which I've usually been doing. So I'll probably do 4:30. Yeah, let's say 4:30 tomorrow. And we'll talk about that case, because it's interesting. And now that I have the time, I want to make sure I get through those stories that I really want to talk about. So, all right, everyone. Well, I hope you have a great rest of your night. And if I don't see you on these YouTube streets, well, actually, before I say my closing, You will be redirected to Amex Live. However, she changed it from 8:30 Eastern to 9:30 Eastern. But you'll still be redirected there after I end this live. So have a great night. And if I don't see you on these YouTube streets, I will see you on the flip side.
Let it take me to that place now. I won't ever let my thoughts get away now. I got better things to do, picking fate now. I just wanna be the best, call me great now. I don't know if I'm okay or insane now. I remember better days on the playground, hoping I can find my way to even when I'm feeling down. I fight, even when I don't know what is right. I'ma pick a side and I'ma take pride. I will decide my fate and I will never let them tell me who I am. If you try to shake me, I'll be damned. Planet on the ground is where I stand. Never give up, that was always the plan. It's so cold outside. I'm alone, I'm alright. It's so cold outside. I'm alone.